Thank you for making it out at 5:20 p.m. on a day 2. I know you guys are suffering a little bit, but bear with me. I'm Christine. I work at Isovalent. I'm a committer to Gateway API and Cilium and Upstreams projects, and today we're just going to be doing a speedrun to Gateway API. This is meant for beginners. So if you're like, what is happening? You're feeling like this guy. Gateway API is essentially the ingress replacement. So ingress is now frozen in state, meaning that there's going to be no new features. And Gateway API is the successor to that. So now we have different objects. It's supposed to be a role-oriented API design. And it's also portable. That's my favorite feature about it. So that means you don't have to get tied into one vendor, one implementation. You can now take your gateway objects, and then you can also use a different implementation if you so choose to wish. So what can you use it for? Gateway API is great for things like route, URL-based routing, and also header-based routing. So you can do things like, hey, I want everything from /login foo.example.com to go to foo.service. And you can do things like that. You can also do traffic splitting. So if you set up your gateway to point to an HTTP route, you can split traffic on 90% to version 1, version 2 will get 10%. So there's a bunch of things. I think the Gateway API actually has decent documentation for a Kubernetes project. And you can see all these really long list of user guides. So those are a great way to get started. And there's also things like Gamma. So not only can you do north-south definitions of your traffic, you can also do east-west. So reusing those CRDs in order to make that tie together. You can also do reference grants and policy attachments, which allows you to extend the usability of Gateway API. So how can you use it as an end user? So first off, you have to select your gateway controller and install the gateway CRDs, deploy gateway, and apply an HTTP route for this easiest starting base case. So first off, this is what you have to do to install the CRDs. Lately, the most recent release we've had is the 1.4 release, so that is our new standard channel. In order to be conformant to Gateway API as an implementation, you have to pass the tests that we have for each release. And then next up, you deploy Gateway. And so this is an example gateway. So right now, you can see in the gateway class name, you have Cilium. But you can also use a different implementation, Istio. That's the great thing about the portability between this. And then you can also just declare your name, which namespace you want to be in, and then the listener that you set up on your port. And then lastly, you just apply an HTTP route. So this is an example HTTP route where it's listening for your gateway that you just deployed. So what's next for you if you want to get into it? There's, again, the guides that are listed on the Gateway API website. There's also 2 tools that I want to highlight here, Ingress to Gateway, which translates your Ingress resources to Gateway API resources. And there's also Gateway Cuddle, which allows you to visualize Gateway resources and how they tie together. And also get involved. We thrive on the feedback of the end users in the community. So if there's anything that you guys see or that is missing in Gateway API as a feature, then please let us know. We're probably the friendliest SIG network group you can get involved with. And then also we have a really good GitHub discussion board on our GitHub resource. So please reach out to us there. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. Yeah, thanks.